Hey, how's it going? Nat here. Let's see what's making news. The World Health Organization has issued a global health emergency for Mpox after an outbreak of the disease in Africa. So, what's going on?
Well, after more than 14,000 cases and 500 deaths in Africa alone this year, the World Health Organization has, for the second time in 2 years, officially declared Mpox a PHEIC.
A public health emergency of international concern is the highest level of alarm under international health law.
Mpox used to be known as Monkey Pox and can cause some flu-like symptoms and some pretty nasty skin rashes.
It was first detected in humans in the 1970s, but hadn't really been causing any trouble until an outbreak across 75 countries back in 2022, when it was first declared a public health emergency.
Things eventually got under control, but now a new strain of the virus called clade 1b has popped up and is spreading rapidly across Africa.
There is also the chance that it could spread beyond Africa to other regions of the world.
So far this year, there have been 152 recorded cases here in Australia, but experts say there's no need to panic and there are plenty of vaccines to help protect Aussies.
And its new status as a PHEIC should help accelerate research, vaccine availability and funding to contain the disease in Africa and around the world.
It's clear that a coordinated international response is essential to save lives.
Katy Perry's found herself in a bit of trouble with Spanish authorities. The pop star's latest music video shows her dancing on sand dunes, but Spanish officials think they're actually protected sand dunes on the Isle of Attenborough. They say her production team didn't get permission to film there, and now a big investigation's been launched to see if there was any environmental damage. Well, what better way to celebrate National Science Week than to learn about probably the most recognisable voice in the world when it comes to nature and conservation. Here's rookie reporter Tom.
If I asked you to think of a nature documentary, chances are this is the voice that comes into your head.
This magnificent creature.
It belongs to David Attenborough, naturalist, conservationist and broadcaster. David was born in 1926 in England, where he spent his childhood collecting fossils, stones and specimens. At uni, David studied geology and zoology, but it was when he got a job at the BBC that David got to combine his love of nature with a newfound talent for broadcasting.
Tonight, we've got a rather different programme for you.
His first TV programme was about animals from the London Zoo. It was the first of many, many documentaries. In 1979, he released Life on Earth, a series that would change wildlife documentaries forever.
We see the world in the same way as they do.
The crew came up with new techniques to get the shots that Attenborough wanted, and filmed animals and events that had never been filmed before. He also used his films to draw people's attention to the impact humans were having on the natural world. In the past few decades, he's become a passionate campaigner for environmental issues.
We are, after all, the greatest problem solvers to have ever existed on Earth.
David Attenborough may have seen more of the natural world than anyone else, and after 70 years on our screens, may have done more than anyone else to make ordinary people aware of the extraordinary planet we live on.
Oh, now it's time for some stories that'll make you think, whose smart idea was that? Nice. First up, to Stonehenge in England. At the centre of this ancient and mysterious monument lies a massive stone called the Altar Stone. It's mostly buried underground, but it's actually almost 5 metres long and weighs 6 tonnes. And new research has found it was transported all the way from Scotland, which would have been incredibly hard to do back when Stonehenge was built thousands of years ago.
To bring it 700 kilometres, however you brought it, must have taken a huge effort to do that.
Now to a spectacular time-lapse of the auroras from space. NASA astronaut Matthew Dominic captured this video on board the International Space Station to test out a new camera lens that recently arrived on board. And finally, to a pool in Dubai, where these folks are giving underwater yoga a go. The weather here has been quite hot. Think 42 degrees hot, so they might be onto something.
It was not easy. You can do it as a beginner, but you still need to balance.
Well, that's all from us today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.